Hello. I'm trying to act all cool and unbothered and everything. So bear with me whilst I get myself together. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to an episode of the Receipts Podcast. Episode 251. I don't know if I want to do with some foreplay.
Yeah, you have to give it some foreplay now.
Let's do some foreplay. How are you guys? Hope you guys are good.
Yeah. Get to the good stuff. Get to the good stuff.
Let's introduce ourselves. It's your girl, Tony T.
And just call me Audrey.
And we have a special guest in the building.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before you came in, we were talking about you and what you meant to us, what your album meant to us. My heart is going pitter-patter.
Mm-hmm.
There's often we have guests here that like, oh, sick. Yeah, that person's sick. And then we have guests that's like, oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, it's, oh my God, we have Craig David.
In the building.
I appreciate you.
In the building, in the flesh.
It's only an icon.
It's only an icon. It's only a musical legend. It's only a magnificent DJ. You can't say magnificent.
See,
I'm saying the big words because we've got a legend in the room, the first guest in our new studio.
Absolutely.
And before Craig David got here, oh, can I just call you Craig?
Yeah.
That's
You call me first. Of course.
That feels really offensive. Also, you've got that thing that not many people have. 2 first names as a...
Yeah, I got 3 actually. Even my middle name's Ashley.
Oh, is it?
So it's
Craig
got a
Ashley
whole
David.
bunch
Craig
of things
Ashley
going on. But we
David.
could just call me Craig.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Craig. Sorry, that feels so bad. Before Craig David got here, I said to Audrey, I was like, I think he wears all white all the time. And she was like, does he? I was like, yeah, I think it's like who does it? Jerry Halliwell does it. And
Lisa Ray McCoy.
Lisa Ray McCoy does it
There's
as
only
well.
3 people that we know.
That they're always in all white. And I was like, I don't know if it's when he performs or if it's all the time. And then Craig David came in.
Came in all white.
Like white, looking all angelic.
Jeez.
White down.
Yes.
Looking good. That was mine and Audrey's first reaction. We're like, oh, wow, you look good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Literally, we told him as well. We were like, sir, you look very well.
Did you not expect him to look
appreciate
good?
that.
No, do you know what it is? I love it. I love it when I meet people and they look so much better in the flesh.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Not that you don't look great on TV because you do, but you look really great in the flesh. I'm not playing. I'm so mad.
No, but this is love. Wear your heart on your sleeve and I love it. I appreciate it.
Do you know what I mean? Can't a woman compliment a man anymore? Like, what the
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Mr. Craig David, how are you, sir?
I'm so well, you know.
Thank you so much for being
coming.
here.
It's a pleasure. Like when I walk through the door, I could just feel this the big hugs, the welcoming, the energy.
Yay.
New studio, as you said.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's super wholesome and it looks beautiful, right?
Thank you
And it
so
just
much.
looks so. I feel like we all got the memo. We talked about the white, right?
Yeah,
Just
exactly. You match
coming
the
in and
furniture.
it feels like
Yeah.
new home,
I'm
new
so
building.
gassed. My cheeks are going to leave my face. Because my cheeks are so high up. Because I'm so gassed that you're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Where do you want to start? I don't even know what to
Let's
say.
start at the beginning because Born to Do It is like a staple of my
Do you realise what you did there?
What?
Beginning and born.
Oh my God, see?
See?
That was so intentional.
Best in the game.
Yeah. It's the
That was so
synergy.
intentional and I was hoping someone picked it up.
You're welcome.
No, but honestly, Born to Do It takes me back to secondary school. And it was the album of the time when I was coming up. That album and So Solid album, like I will never, ever forget those albums. Like they literally are just a blueprint of like growing up and every single song slapped. And I remember talking about it in school and everyone being like, it's a cover to cover album because there's very few albums that are like that have no skips. And Born to Do It, there's not a single skip. Like you listen to it through and through. Like when you made that album, did you realize it was so quality? I'm going to use language all the time. It was quality, mate.
Quality, mate. I know.
Quality.
Firstly, can I just say thank you? No, because like throughout the years, when people like sort of go back to a time in their life and that album has been like synonymous with that time, and you're like, yeah, I remember being at secondary school. I mean, I didn't think that when I was writing the album. Yeah, that's a core memory for you. That album, right? So, firstly, thank you. Yeah. Do you know what? At that time, I was 17 when I was writing that first album. I mean, probably even younger, but like when I really got into the mix.
So at 17, what did you know about what you were talking about?
So baby. So I was, to be honest, I was drawing from all this. Like I would listen to a load of the UK and America, well, a lot of American hip hop and R&B. But I was big into my jungle and early drum and bass when that was happening, and then it turned to the garage thing. So I was just drawing from inspiration. You know, I mean, if you listen to Biggie and Tupac, and then you listen to like Drew Hill albums, and you listen, Donnell Jones and Joe and all these people. You're drawing for it. And I love the sort of melancholy thing of relationships and being romantic and you know what I mean? And that's why by the time I got to like 7 days, it's like, you know, I'm 16, 17 years old looking at my council flat, like thinking, you know what, wow, I would love to be able to meet that girl on the subway and bring her home, but it ain't really gonna happen right now. Do you know what I mean? So it's all inspirations, right? But
you said subway. You know damn well we have a train.
Yeah, but I'm talking subway, the one that goes underneath the road. I'm UK on it. Oh, no, we're not on a train thing. I'm talking about just trying to get underneath the road.
Subways now. The actual subways.
Under things.
Like, you know the pathways?
Yeah. UK through and through.
You thought he meant the trains.
I thought he's been Americanized. I said subways in the trains.
Fully.
That's the one that smells like piss.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
That's the one where you go down, you're not sure if you're going to make it out the other end. You don't know, it could get funky.
Do you know the big one in Gats Hill?
Yeah, and Elephant and Castle was the big one. That's gone now, though.
Sometimes you think, do you want to go down or do you want to just risk it, go over the top and just deal with the traffic? It's one of those. So proper through and through.
Proper. Okay, I stand corrected.
So to answer your question, when I went to the studio, I was coming back and I was like finishing the record. I was like, do you know what? I'm proud of each and every one of these songs. I didn't know what an album really meant, but I definitely felt that each of those songs really worked their way onto that. Well, didn't work their way. They just kind of they landed on the album, and there was. In my opinion, it was like every song has to just land. It has to feel like, I don't know what a single was. I don't know what a hit record was. But I just knew that in my heart, like if I was DJing at the time. So when I went out into the clubs, I could play the half of these songs out. So I was playing like Rewind early days. We made changes to Rewind before, like I play the tune and I see people and they're just not quite getting it. The vibe on it was too long. The bass line wasn't hitting right. We go back to the studio and we just
that's so clever.
It was nice.
Yeah.
So just knowing there's no skips coming from
no skips.
That for me is the beauty of a real album because to the point, even today you can have that where it's like people want to build a playlist, right? If you do it right, you get to the point where you're pulling so many tunes off the album. Yeah, you've got the album.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. You want to be. You know what? I'm just gonna pull off the tunes I like. You're like, I pulled off the whole album.
All the tunes. Yeah.
Might as well just leave it in the right way.
What is your story though? Like who were you discovered? Like, because you don't just go from a 16-year-old kid who DJs and now be like Craig David.
And I think off the gate, when you have like such a high level of success, anything after might pale in significance, even though it's still a massive success. Because so I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan, yeah? And like Thriller sold 100 million copies and then Bad sold 30 million. But in comparison, that feels like
stupid.
But even 3.5 million physical like hard copies, because we didn't really have like streaming and stuff like that at the time, is insane.
Unbelievable.
But I guess it's that comparison to the original
7 million,
waves.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Which is cool. But to even be able to say that you sold units in those quantities is incredible.
It's you know what? Like I said, it's still it's wild because even in today's like Michael Jackson like example is crazy. Right?
Crazy.
But even in today's world, like even with streaming, it's like it's hard to. Even though I'm fully invested, like I understand what streaming is about, but it's still how you quantify that against someone physically going to HMV or Virgin Megastore and buying it.
And that's what we used to do. We'd leave our house and we'll go and buy a CD. Like it was actually an event. All our friends would be like, oh yeah, should we meet at the Heathway? Like, yeah, you'll meet at the Heathway.
100.
And we'll go to the shop and we'll buy a CD.
That was me with Born to Do It.
Yeah. With money you'd like saved during the, like you'd saved money that you were given your pocket money. You saved it until you had enough to go buy this thing. And you'd be so gassed if you got one with a sticker on it.
And the lyrics used to be inside.
And you're like, oh my God, look at the lyrics, the pictures. Like it was actually
like the artwork, the pictures, everything.
Everybody had this CD player. You didn't know they had the boom speakers.
Yeah.
This big CD player you used to have with these boom speakers. And used to be so gassed and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then so you're on the high, we're on a high. Do you ever feel like, because I see this a lot with musicians who were like, had like a moment in certain time. Do you ever feel like, you know what, I had a good time, it's time to come off? Or do you constantly chase that in a way?
Do you know what? It's like, okay, so when come off the board now in the water and you're like, okay, we're gonna get back on the board. I was like, you kind of just, it begs the question. It says, are you actually about this life? That's really, that's the question. Are you really about this music life? Or is it just, did you just want to be on this wave and have the adulation of, and I was like, no, I'm about this life. I grew up I was going to the West Indian Club in Southampton. I was the guy who wanted to just get on the mic and just spit a couple bars and maybe do a couple ad-libs over one Horace Brown. You remember Things We Do for Love?
Yeah.
Things we do for love.
Yes.
Fancy cars. I'd be that guy. Credit cards, lips in December. I'd be that guy. That's what, when you live it, then you check yourself and then you're like, okay, so I got back on. And I feel like what's changed for me now, which makes life so rich and beautiful, is that I understand the game. And I'm really grateful for how my entry into it, and even the love you've given me as soon as I came through, like that's my litmus test. That's really love. That's what this thing is about. Like when someone comes up to you and say, I remember where they were, or who they were with when they heard your tune when I was at secondary school and I was playing. That's a number one. That's the 4 billion streams.
The rendition of Rendezvous we started before you got
we
here.
were proper singing Rendezvous.
Was it
Slaps.
That is one of the best R&B songs ever.
We hit all of it.
Ever.
Six
I'm
o'clock
just
in the
sitting
morning,
here
wipe the
daydreaming.
sleep.
Oh,
we hit
wow.
it. I'll go where you want to be.
No, we want to be where you are.
Like an ordinary day.
Yeah.
Just around the corner, such a surprise. A beautiful angel materialized. Time stood still face to face. I'm sure we met at another time and place. Our eyes met. I'm with you. Pass me by, two souls in time, in the blink of an eye. And I had to figure out what I've been missing. So I turned to you and asked you if you wanted to.
Yeah, you want to go to
Rendezvous, where to my place, say to, and we can do anything you want to do. Tonight is your night, yeah. When you close your eyes, take a minute, take a moment, realize. Do you see me when you fantasize? Tonight'll be your night.
I can say I got to do that. Like, oh my God, before you came in, they always say I'm broken because I don't cry and I just shed a tear.
Why?
No, let me tell you.
Literally.
You don't understand how wild this is.
I'm a robot,
We
they
were
say.
talking about all the films that made us cry. She didn't cry to This Is Us.
Oh, wow.
She didn't cry to all of the things worth crying for in life, genuinely. And here she is.
That was our moment, right?
Yo.
That was special.
No, do you know why? It's so trippy because 14-year-old me, I went to Woolworths and I saved up my money to go and buy that album.
Why?
Because everybody was talking about it in school and everyone was like, have you heard Born to Do It? Like, this album slaps. And I was like, I don't want to miss out. So I went and bought it in Woolworths, like with my hard-earned cash, what do you call it? Pocket money.
Pocket money, yeah.
And so now, however many years later, I'm actually sitting with Craig David singing.
Imagine
like,
telling her that.
That is so trippy. Like,
That
it's
little
actually
girl, they're gonna
mad.
meet this
I
man.
need to have a school reunion of everybody that went to Trinity so that I can just be like, hey guys, remember me?
Just put this on loud. Just put this on the screen somewhere and here's my
Just be like-
achievements.
I love
so
it. I love
weird.
this is wholesome to me.
No,
like
this is
that's what I'm
better.
saying. Like you start to what lands for you, it lands differently now. So just that, like let's not stop. You know what I mean? Let's see. We got to see it through to the end because I'm getting as gas as you are. Because for me, it's like you're telling me something where it's putting me in that situation where I've got this. Imagine, oh my God, like going to Woolworths. How have we met? We've met, but we haven't met. But no, we have met. And it's super wholesome. And I feel like that's why the whole appreciating the joys and the got certain amount of streams this time, or you got this chart position, or these many people liked your post, or do you know what I mean? You appreciate all those little dopamine hits you get. But when you really deep it, it's this. It's the stories. It's someone just telling you, you know what, I'm gassed. Can I just grab a quick picture of you? And you're like, because you know that not even for what I get out, it's just you're gonna go and it's gonna be a moment that you're gonna be like, bro, I just
You need to make that go. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me run this up on my Instagram. I just think it's just wholesome, and it all makes sense.
Do you know what it is? I remember as well when you left London. I don't know why it bothered me. And I was like, that was in Miami now. I was like, wait, why has he left us? And Audrey earlier was talking about your MTV cribs. So we as you remember, we're fans.
Yeah. Oh, but I like this.
And how it was like pristine, all white, and it was like a really, really nice house and overlooked like a beautiful thing. Was the plan to make it big in America? And what is with that?
With American
how
thing,
do
like UK
how
artists.
do those
with
meetings
that?
go?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
And why Miami? Was random.
Okay, so the Miami thing was because the first time I went to Miami was in 2000, and it was like we did a film in E4. I think we're taking different acts to do like a spring break and do. And I went out.
I get it. Miami slaps.
Yeah,
It's a great holiday, yeah.
There's something in the sauce and the water there. But then I ended up going like every New Year with my guitarist at the time, Fraser T. Smith, and we were going every year to Miami. Boom, 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 enjoying the life. And then there came this one point where I was like, oh, if I could live out here, it'd be crazy. And then this realtor guy did a number on me. It was beautiful, yeah. Because I was living in London. I'd moved from Southampton. I was Northwest London. I'd been there for a while now. Went over and the guy took me into the New Mondrian Hotel. Crazy. There was one in LA that I used to stay in. I was like, this is vibes, yeah. You know, he's got a little orchid on the corner when you come in the reception. You're like it's nice. So they were doing one in Miami, and I went in, and the guy took me into this old, like, mashed up building because they were going to renovate it. He took me into one of the apartments there, and I looked out, and the view was beautiful. But I was like, okay, it's cool, and it'd be a nice little rental thing. I wasn't looking to live in Miami. Just a quick, I can put my bags and never have to keep coming
So
come off the plane one time. You know what I mean? He said, but you don't want to see upstairs yet because like. Different level thing. You put one on them once. It's a different level too.
You don't know about them.
Yeah. Made man feel all funny, yeah.
You go a little bit, didn't you?
That's got inflated, yeah. Puffed up like man was like, do you know what I mean?
I am. Yeah.
Some peacock thing. Go upstairs. I see this crazy apartment that just blew my mind. And I just saw visions of like the house parties and be laying out and getting the sun. And then all of a sudden, it went from 0 to 100 real quick, where I'd end up saying, listen, I'm ready to do the move. Because obviously it wouldn't really affected my music. And at that time, I was in one of those kind of we're off the board for a minute. So it was like, can't. So then I ended up selling my place here, went to Miami. And as great as it was, because I came away doing house parties there, that became my TS5 DJ outfit. And it also proved to me that the guy who loved the community centre back in Southampton was back in the game, because I was like, used to go to the clubs and got gassed by it. And then I was like, this red rope thing is really starting to play on my feelings, because when you're inside, we can chat about it. You can tell me how you feel about it. When you're inside the VIP, everyone's inside the VIP. You're in there. It's tight.
Sometimes it's not that good.
Tight, up close.
Yeah.
Drink spilling on you. Someone trying in your ear, can't hear what they're saying. Yeah. Tight, yeah. Glasses are on hard, can't see nothing yet. Looking out like crazy. But look good, yeah. The look is good, but you can't see nothing yet, right? It's crazy. And then you look outside the red rope and you're just seeing people out. Space, vibing. Yeah. And then like people like can get to the toilet real quick and they're just, do you want to get some shots at the bar? And they're just vibing. And you're there just like trying to get through all these people and you're trying to sort of have a good time. And everyone's worshipping the wooden table. And this is no disrespect to anyone who loves the VIP, because trust me, we worked hard for your money. You want to go enjoy yourself. But I was just starting to realize people are praying to this wooden table with this bottle of vodka on it like it is like the thing. When actually out there, the people having fun. So then I ended up doing my own house parties just on the basis of that, because I wanted everyone to be VIP. You come in, I'm going to give you shout outs on the microphone. Yeah, what are you saying? I see you looking good over there. Guy come through, my boys, they were getting gassed up. I make him feel like he's the guy. He's your guy over there. Like, putting everyone on, yeah? So then that became the TS5 house party thing. That takeaway was amazing, because that became, like I said, going out and doing performances. But my soul was just feeling like, why are we here? With Miami, it was that different environment. Musically, it was completely different. The culture was completely different.
It's more house there, right?
Fully on a house thing. And you either had like the R&B hip hop ghetto, proper ghetto thing come through like, man, ready and steady. Or you went for the EDM thing, which kind of felt like people were gravitating towards, but I wasn't really feeling it too tough. So you know what I mean? It was a different vibe. It seemed like all the women tend to go to the EDM thing. So you're going where at them times you're following the thing, but you like the music over here, but it's just, it was too gritty. I like, trust me, I come from, I know that the vibe, grit. But there's a bit where it's like, you know what, this is a bit hectic, man. It's like, man.
That's what mine's when I was in Miami, right? So the strip club. So there is the big one that's closed now.
Live.
No, strip club.
No, what's it called again?
The big one. What's it called? It was the club to go to when you was in Miami.
Not Ace of Spades.
Recently.
What was that club called?
So 11.
No, not that recently. It's closed that now. Okay. It's a strip club. I can't remember what it's called. It was a big strip club in Miami. But you go to that one and that's what that vibe was. And then and there was another one called The Office.
House of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds.
King of Diamonds.
Yeah.
Really?
I think it's closed down now, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And there was one called The Office, and it was that gritty thing that you were talking about. Jesus. No, it was a Monday night as well.
Oh, God.
Monday night you go to The Office.
Gritty things.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't
Like,
about
the
that.
struggle is real. The struggle is real.
Like as in, I think sometimes people think of ghetto, they think it's like an act or something. And then you see the actual raw. I think there is so much in it. There's so much uniqueness and talent and beauty in it, but there's also, it's raw as fuck. And I remember half the time just being like,
yeah, what am I saying?
like, what is happening?
Different.
Yeah,
Like
what is going on?
The wow where you're like, should we just go get Five Guys?
Yeah.
On a calm one.
Are we all right?
Yeah. Just go on a calm. Yeah. It's
like, can they tell we don't fit in here? Yeah.
And you're outsiders here. You're a bit out of town, which can work in your favor, or it can be like, you know what I mean? You come out and you ain't got no shoes anymore. But like, it's so seeing that kind of the light and shade of Miami, and it's amazing. Have you been out to Miami? Oh, sorry, nonsense. Just said that. Have you been out to Miami?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I was in there last year.
That's the maddest question. I get asked someone, have you been to Miami? Just said that. Yeah, I was out there and I just told you a crazy story. And you're like,
you've been to Miami? Were you listening to me, Greg?
Sorry, I was just still gassed off Rendezvous. I was
I know, that was such a moment.
In swimming. But when I came back, oh my gosh. You know, it's something like, and this is another thing I realized, that how the universe, how God talks, is like, will kind of keep closing loads of doors for you, and you keep trying to push against them, and to the point where you just like, you get that moment where you're like, I need to go home. I need to go like real home to where, close to my friends that I grew up with, or close to my parents. I need to, and as soon as I made that move, it was like my whole life shifted. It was like I got the call up to go on to Mr. Jam, who was at 1 Extra at the time, for the Cracked FM special they were doing. And I walked in there, the love I felt in the building, like Stormzy was just starting up. He was doing Shut Up and doing them tunes. We had Big Nasty was in the building. You know, Big Nasty wears his heart on his sleeve at the best of times. Corrupt FM doing their thing. And I walked in, Shola Ammo had just done Imagine. It was garage vibes. And the man plays the Where Are You Now, Skrillex, Justin Bieber instrumental. And I go into just a little vibe of, I'm a chicken this girl next door when her parents went out, she phone say. All of a sudden, it went from even Corrupt FM, who were kind of in the garage parody thing for a minute, switched into, now we're MCs now. We're in mode. This is a joke thing now. That's the acting now. We're in now. And I got Big Nasty, who's showing mad love, like just coming through, like saying, bro, Booty Man's my tune from back in the day. You not understand. I'm hearing, ooh yeah, from behind me. It was like I was back at school, yeah, where your mates are gassing you up, yeah. By the time I hit the spit of 16, the sick was 16, I've been doing this since I was 16, and it went off. That moment was a pivotal moment in my career. It changed my life. I felt like man was home and got the biggest hug ever. And then I met Big Nasty. We did When the Bassline Drops. That ended up being a top 10 hit for him. Then I released Follow My Intuition album. And then that ended up being my next number one since Born to Do It, which was like 16 years later. And I was like, it was like almost like, welcome home. You made the right decision.
Is it fair to say words of affirmation is your love language?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
You love being affirmed. It's lovely.
Do you know what? It gives context, yeah. Yeah. And I love seeing people winning. So I realized that there was a lot of imposter syndrome happening for a long time with me, because like even when you saying like, but you're great, David, do you know what I mean? To say like, I'd be like, yeah, but you know what? The rug could get pulled at any point. Back in the day, I used to feel that way. And I used to feel it was a bit egotistical to own it, to be like, yeah,
do you know, it's so funny because like I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and do you know when you give people compliments and they get like shy about it? I don't.
So she receives them.
I receive it like, yeah, about fucking time. Finally, someone sees it.
I love that. No, on the real though, let's deep that, yeah, because that whole kind of like, too humble, yeah, or to just throw back this gift that's just been given. You didn't even receive it, you just parred it and just said like, someone gave you a chocolate bar, you gave them 2 chocolate bars back. And I feel like you receiving it actually is what we call self-love, right? It's actually being able to, someone has given you a compliment, take it. Someone's giving you a gift, take it. And like how it's received, how you gas it up, how you feel, you know what I mean? I think it's a beautiful thing. I used to do let me give you 2, 3 or 4 back.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's like someone who literally is giving you a birthday present on your birthday, and you've said, yeah, let's park that birthday present. Do you know what? I've got a few things I can give you. And they're like, no, but I went and bought that.
It's your birthday.
It's doing a disservice to somebody. So it's the most beautiful thing if you can take it and receive it and know that it's not being too humble. Like or being overly modest. Like humble is one thing. Humble is like, I'm reassured in myself that I'm not looking for someone to like, not so much for compliments, but just an authority out
But I
there
think
to tell you
people
if you're
say
good or not.
humble as though it's been remixed, and you hear Christians say
Remix.
it as well, right?
Remix.
And it has been. It's
Real
been
talk.
remixed in a way to keep people without shining, right? Because I like it. I'm humble to God. That's all I'm actually meant to be humble towards. And it doesn't mean I'm a fucking asshole. It doesn't mean I think, like I always say, I don't think anyone's better than me. And it's not because someone's got more, I see people got more talents than me, they're better at a thing than me. Actually, I think people that run the marathon are better than me. And athletes. I think those
Until
people are
you
better
do the
than me.
marathon, no? You might show
Do you know
yourself
what? I
a
know
little
that I
something.
can't.
Oh, there you go. Go
Like
on.
I did a
But
10K.
you've done a 10K.
Babe, do you know how many Ks it's in a marathon? How many Ks is it? 46K or something?
10. In that one you did.
Yeah.
No,
So
It's only 10 more than what you did.
No, that's 26 miles. That's 40 something K.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. People are straight out running for, and
But
it's like
still.
when I see people that run the marathon, and the reason why I feel like even if I could physically do it, my mind won't do it.
Okay.
Like I know in my mind that I'll be like, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I really wanted to ask that question about like, because I think if I'd had this moment of hugeness, right, and then it went quiet, my mind would be like, okay, that was the moment. That was your blessing. Take it and carry on with your life. And that's why I always find really difficult. We were talking about an artist that's coming, wasn't you? An artist that's coming back. And I was like, I'm fascinated that she still wants to make music because I would just think she'd be like, I had my time and it was good.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Yes, I've always been fascinated by musicians. And I guess you're right. It's because it's in you.
In the veins.
Yeah, like it's like this thing doesn't, I don't just get to be like, oh, I'm done now, I've had my moment, but because you love it so much, you can't just have your moment and go. Like it's every part of who you are.
Yeah, flash in the pans can.
People that it's not really their calling. They can be like, okay, cool, that was fun, let me go. Because they know that it was luck.
I feel you with that. And you know what and it's funny you say that because when it comes to like living this, one thing like living it and being like you're trying to keep creating what you had done before, and that's fine as well. Like you say you had a certain amount of hits and those are the hits and you just run them up. Yeah, just keep going. That's calm. Don't get me wrong. 7 days is ringing off like crazy from them, right?
Yeah.
But I found like that moment when I came back in 2016, when I went and did recording sessions with people, I was actually going in with a lot of like people who were on the come up, like at the time, different producers. And there were a lot of young producers who were like 18 and they'd be like 18, 19 years old. And I'm going around to his parents' house where he's got a little studio in his, literally in his living room, or he's set up something. And I was like, I've got to go here again. I can't be, when people keep telling a story about, oh yes, I sold X amount of million records and and I've got the plaques. It's like, cool story, bro, but nobody cares right now. Like, what are you really about?
Yeah.
So I go in and he plays some chords or have a beat ready. And I just say, just throw out the mic. Because I always feel like the first I get the best stuff out. Just go, let's go.
Let's go, yeah.
Let's not think about it. Don't play it for too long. Just play the thing and let's go. Whatever comes out and we'll then hash it out and find a tune from it.
Quake don't run out of bars. Don't run out of bars, you know?
Listen, but when it comes to melodies are just, and that's God, that's source. That's coming through me. Just don't, let me not get in the way of this.
Yeah.
And firstly, when you initially meet someone, they're like, oh, my brother or my older brother and my older sister used to play your tunes and I love Rewind and it's love. Yeah, you receive the love. But I could feel when I'm looking in man's eyes that he's like, but I sort of vicariously was living through my sister and stuff and their throwbacks. And I was like, you're going to learn today, man. So he played one beat and I give him some, ooh, yeah. And give him ad-libs like it was my first day out, like a first day in the studio. And next thing you get, man, you see the change.
You see the change.
Turn this in. Oh my God. Oh my God. And all of a sudden it goes from being throwback to being like real time and present. And I feel like that was when we talked about humbling, it's like, it's being able to humble the ego of telling stories about before. I am grateful for my stories and I love it. They're all my children, right? Songs. And I love them equally. But if you want to have another juncture point to come back again, you've got to meet people where they're at. I think you see that with Timbaland, we'll talk about it. He's like, yo, my beats were slapping, but now I've got to check for a young producer who's like, bro, we're not doing it like that.
Yeah.
But Timbaland's got wisdom and he can say, yeah, but I can, and look, Timbaland's the beat guy.
Yeah, of course.
So I just feel like now it's like a time of, you have those moments and you keep it moving, stay present, and every day's a school day. And yes, I have these hits and I have these tunes, but when it comes to it, it's just a mic and singing a tune and let's go. And I think that keeps you fresh. And that's why you can have these, like, I see we did arena tour recently and I saw young people who were there the first time. Yeah. People moshing, people there the first time, some of their knees you could tell they were up in the bleeds. They were like, I need to sit down. But the other ones were like 15, 16-year-old kids. I'm like, That's a dream to me. I never thought that. So yeah.
Do you when you were creating your sound and stuff, was it very intentional to keep it British?
I feel like it was kind of all I knew at the time. I mean, definitely when people hear me sing, they didn't know at first that I was British. They'd say because I was listening to so much American R&B.
I think R&B is hard to distinct to see if someone's British or not.
100.
Because even with all the R&B girlies now, I think it's actually quite hard to sing in a British accent. To sing in a British accent.
It's not quite, it doesn't, it's too phonetical. It hits different. The melody can be smooth with R&B and you want to elongate those words to let them land. But the British language is we pronounce our T's and our water and it's like, you need to flow. But then saying that though, on 7 days, the Americans will always clock when I say Tuesday. Because I say it Tuesday. I say it with like not even a T. Yeah?
But how do they say it?
They're like, I think, well, yeah, they slur it. So it's like Tuesday. It's like it's Tuesday.
Hey, Tuesday.
So, but when I say it, I don't know what I'm saying with that. Maybe it's a Southampton thing. But I say it like with CH.
Yeah, Tuesday.
Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday,
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So they're like,
yeah,
yo, he's the guy Tuesday. And I'm like, yeah, that's how we do in the UK, my guy.
Yeah.
So it's like we have our...
Yeah.
But yeah, the American, they embraced it and then they didn't know until I spoke that they were like, oh, you're British, okay.
They love finding that out.
Yeah, they feel
you see when they like have an actor or singer and the person gets interviewed, they're like, oh my God, he's British. And it's like apparently it adds to the attractiveness, it adds to the allure of who you are and all things like that.
Sign. Do you know what? It's funny because people have it's always the other thing. Yeah? Like when you're in the UK, a lot of people are like, oh, in America, there's something about America. And when you're British and you go over there, they're just like, ooh, like, did you have tea with the Queen?
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't. Mum was just done British.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't that deep. But if you want to go for scones and go for a mad thing, that is cool.
But scones slap though.
They are.
Oh, they're amazing.
If you get the nice ones.
Especially with cream and jam.
Top 3 British foods.
Okay. So fish and chips off the bat. British foods.
I think we talk about most of the time that I order fish and chips is disappointing. Of recent.
Wasn't hit, but you took it.
It used to be a hit back in the day, but I think they've taken out.
Even a Savoy.
Oh no.
Okay.
I ordered a Savoy the other day. There was no GMO in it. I could take like it was horrible.
Oh really?
I needed GMO back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't had a Savoy in ages, to be fair.
Yeah,
do you know what?
Okay.
Saying that though, it does hit when you know you're gonna feel mashed off.
Yeah. But you know that. Yeah.
It's worth it.
Wow. Okay.
Thoughts on sticky toffee pudding?
Yeah.
Is that British?
It can.
No?
It can work. It can work.
No. You're not enthusiastic enough for this.
I mean, if you give me a cheesecake, I mean, I don't eat that much dairy, but
cheesecake is better than sticky toffee pudding.
Cheesecake is better than
you go Cheesecake Factory.
But hang on, cheesecake as in cream cheese with fruit and crumble on the bottom, and not the flaky biscuit dessert.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm talking like the sumptuous, thick caramel. Oi.
But how do you like your base? Do you like your base digestive or do you like it?
If you get it right, they're kind of similar in the no.
Wait, what?
Hey, David, no, they're not.
So tell me the toffee.
Sticky toffee pudding, no.
Okay.
Because one's more of a cold dessert and sticky toffee, you have to have it hot.
Technically, it's completely different, right?
Yeah.
Different feelings, different sentiments.
He's going to loop it together.
I
need to hear this.
Vibe, then fill me in the same song. That's what you say one day for the same vibe as this.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's like I kind of put myself in a corner. I was trying to find my way out of it.
They're both great, but they're not the same.
But I would say that it's when you put the spoon in a sticky toffee pudding, right?
Yeah.
It's the I don't really use the word moist too much, but it's the only word I could use for it. But it's a nice one. It's moist and it's thick.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if you have sticky toffee pudding with ice cream or something.
Of course I do, yeah. Okay. And the warm caramel over.
I like the warm caramel.
So you agree that it's better than cheesecake?
But they do cheesecakes that
cheesecake
hard.
Is up there. Cheesecake is
one
of my favorite
the same
desserts.
thing you're looking for. That's why I was saying, like, I've seen a sticky toffee pudding on one of them ones that cheesecake. They got caramel. They tried to make it like it was smash.
To be fair, you've seen more of the world than I have.
Come on.
You've lived a better life than me.
No,
honestly, I'm okay with it.
Look around you.
Yeah, I know.
Look at the studio.
I know. Look what we've built.
Exactly. It's true.
Let's be real. Yeah,
this is true.
Okay, so we did sticky toffee pudding. We did
fish and chips.
One.
I know that's your choice, but sticky toffee pudding's not in there. It's not up there.
What you got to say.
But okay, fair, because it's not my choice. Yeah. Bangers and mash.
I don't like it.
So bangers and mash.
Wait, no, sorry, my bad. I was thinking of the pie.
Oh, yeah.
Bangers and mash
You're
with
thinking of
sausage and-
shepherd's pie.
Yeah, I hate
Sausage
that.
and
Yeah,
mashed
shepherd's
potatoes.
pie is
Sausage,
okay.
Bangers and mash.
Bangers and mash, sausages and mash.
If you get caramelized sausage,
And
you don't eat
caramelized
pork, do you?
gravy.
You're the kind of man that doesn't eat pork.
Not too tough.
I can
but
tell.
You can have a beef sausage.
It's not the
yeah,
same.
yeah.
No,
I'm
it's
not
not.
too.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, trust me. Like
Oh, feeling
back in the day, I was, but yeah, it was a bit.
You don't look this good and still eat pork, to be fair.
Do you know what? Of all of them, I mean, trust me, when you smell the crispy bacon, it's like, wow. But it doesn't really hit the.
I hear it.
What about full English then? Should we take out bangers and mash or full English?
Wait, are you saying that like? Because there's a few. I mean, what? Do you like Yorkshire pudding or?
I
them
love
kinda-
Yorkshire
I do
pudding.
like Yorkshire pudding.
Like a full like Sunday roast.
Do you know
business.
what I
Yeah,
really like
Sunday
a Sunday
roast.
roast? Hey, what we can all admit is actually no flavour in it.
You got to
Like,
put bare
if
gravy
you
on
make
it.
No, I have
it,
to-
if you
how
go
I
to a
make
pub,
it.
if you don't make it how you make
Yeah,
it, because we
yeah,
love to have Maggie and seasonings everything. If we go
Yeah.
to a pub with no Maggie,
Mm.
it's not. If you don't add gravy, it's not nice. Let's all be honest.
No,
I don't know. Because the
Without gravy,
potatoes.
you have it without gravy.
I feel you.
It depends
that
on how the
needs-
potatoes
needs
are made.
some it
it
needs something.
has. It needs to have gravy.
Yeah, it definitely
Oh,
needs
you
gravy.
cannot have that thing without gravy.
Because otherwise it would be quite dry, isn't
Yeah.
it?
'Cause
Yeah.
it's just beige and dry otherwise.
So wait, so we've got bangers and mash,
Mm-hmm.
sticky toffee
This has become
pudding,
more of a top five.
fish and chips.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Sunday roast teas
Yeah.
and
Yeah, and a full
I
English.
talked through that.
Sunday roast, yeah.
There's got to be one that tops all of this. I'm just thinking as a collective now.
I think scones are really nice, but I don't know if it
Yes.
tops the what a
Scones
scone
are.
with cream
Clotted
and
clotted
jam.
cream and jam.
Clotted cream and jam.
Of the high.
That's why.
A
do you know when
plain
you go
scone.
to afternoon tea, they like the treat at the bottom is a scone because they just know.
They put the.
Yeah.
How
Not
do you
really
have
be
it?
at the
Do you
top.
have it a certain way?
I don't even know.
You just put the jam and.
Whatever.
I
Right,
just
wait,
I
but
always
see
do clotted cream first and then
And then
jam
the
on
jam.
top.
Because the colour.
Some people have a real-
colour. Yeah, apparently it's a big
Some-
Because
debate.
when
yeah,
I
yeah,
did etiquette lessons, they actually said that.
It's etiquette.
Talk to
Oh, yeah,
us.
did you know about that?
No.
Oh my God, I've lived so many lives.
Come on.
Why did you do etiquette lessons?
No, I only did it one time because when I used to write for my local newspaper, I did it so I could write a piece. Yeah.
So what did you learn? Talk to
I
me.
learnt about scones.
Mhm.
I learnt about cutlery. I learnt about pronunciation of certain words.
Go on, tell me the words, because that's one thing. That's what tells me.
So you don't say hello.
Yeah.
You say hello.
That's what I want to
Actually,
hear.
I can't take
Come
you
on.
seriously. Go on.
Is there one more word? You got one more?
And then you don't say, for example, really and truly, you shouldn't say scones.
What should we say?
You should say scone.
Oh, it's a scone.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
But
Does it hit different when you say scone now?
Scone.
Scone. Doesn't feel right.
Don't feel right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Okay, you don't want it
doesn't.
anymore,
Yeah, I
right?
don't want it now. I want a
Yes.
No,
scone.
okay.
Scone.
Yeah.
And what else
Okay.
did I learn? That's the only thing that I can remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
But it was only
nice.
like a one-day thing. It was
Okay,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did your British accent make a killing in Miami?
Do you know what? It did definitely work in my favor. But then again, it can always take you down a road. Like I had a car out there, so it was like you want to say, "Oh, I'm just going to grab something, open the bonnet to get." Because back then, the reason why I was opening the bonnet because man had one of them cars where you had to get the thing from the bonnet. So it was one of them cars where it wasn't in the back. It
What was
wasn't
the
in the
car?
So I lived the dream. I went from playing Outrun, the arcade game back in the day, which was like a little racing game, and had a Ferrari when I went to. That was my.
Don't have
was-
to explain it.
Was
it's
it
fine.
red?
No, but it was red. It was the
Mm.
whole.
You have to
full-
get a red Ferrari,
full
isn't
thing.
it? Do Ferraris
I
come
can
in
see
other
it now.
colours?
I was fully when I went. I lived.
Sunshine.
Oh,
All white
Sunshine Beach,
outfit,
Ferrari,
red
the
Ferrari,
all white.
Hop out the car.
cheap.
I bet.
Hi, I'm
Hop
Craig
out.
David.
Next thing you
I
know, like
bet.
What are the doors that was it? The flyaway doors.
Suicide.
Nah, because
Is that what they're called?
we had the Ferrari that broke down so many times that like it wasn't a good look. Yeah, trust me.
Listen, but
Sounded great, but when
that
it
amount of money,
drove,
looks
what do you
like you
mean?
bought a cheap one to be in the gang. Because why is it breaking down?
no, you know what? Those cars are like they're. I mean, I like that though.
Yeah.
Because I'll own it if it's did I get a cheap little deal and man didn't have
Yeah.
the engine was a bit like
Bit
it was
dusty.
a splice. But it was like it kept you need to drive those cars. You know, like any sports car. I mean, and I've got a little mini now. That's
Why?
just to give you the context of where I am in my life here because I had to be there. I had to enjoy the Ferrari breaking down enough times
Mhm.
because I wasn't driving it at crazy speeds. And even when I did, when I think back now, I'm grateful that that part of my
Living
life's
in
gone
these
because you start
things,
doing
yeah.
mad things.
Yeah.
You're moving like you
own the world.
Yeah,
You're
you're Lewis
invincible.
Hamilton,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
learn real quick about
Mhm.
yourself. But then that moved to like I got a Lamborghini, so I lived the dream.
Mr.
That was-
Craig David.
That was the doors that went up and it was vibing.
Mhm.
wicked when the doors go up, but when you try and put it down, it doesn't shut properly, and you've got to call the garage again. It's a mad thing. So you start to learn all these. When you're man going past you, one Nissan just calm, just like it's chill, and you're on the side of the road with your door half up and some smoke coming out the back of the thing.
Okay, that's long.
You learn real. Trust me, a couple of those, you trade in the thing. You start to say, I just want just an easy life, But to experience it, I had a real like epiphany when I went to a steakhouse one time, and went for a nice restaurant. I was on a date, and I went with some friends, and pulled
So
up.
you took friends on a date?
Well, I went with one date, but I met friends there to make it. No. No. It wasn't like you going on a date and all your mates just popped up. It was like let's do I'm going on a date with this one young woman, and then my mate was going with like a girlfriend he was with, and it was cool. I just wanted it to be a bit of just to break the ice.
Take the edge off a little bit.
Yeah.
I pull up, I'm that guy with the fry, park it up, valet took the thing, nice, you know what I mean? Look after the guy, give him the, you know what I mean? Give him the wink, everything, that guy. Go into the restaurant, nice meal, everything's cool. Come back out, go into the car, get in, it's hot, right? So I turn it on, and I just hear.
Oh my God. Her pussy dried up.
Why now?
At that point, you're sweating.
She's done.
Air conditioning's not coming on, right? So the bead starts coming down. It's different, and you're just.
Did she have black hair dye on?
And that pressure.
No, thankfully, I was cool. Always doing naturals.
Thank God,
it was
no
calm.
Bengay.
But it was looking like.
club and seen the men of the dye. It's like
it's
sweating.
really
if you start doing some mad Beijing, you're gonna mash up your whole runnings, bro. The thing is too. Next thing, the thing melting like
why
you're in a house of wax. Crazy. So this was going on. I had to style it real quick. You know the ones when it's do it. I don't know if you've been in a situation where it's all going left, but you're quick with it.
What did you do? I would have started singing if I was you.
I was like, you know what? Because they were about to go to this club. We were about to go to some club after, right? So I was just like, I did the thing and it was all mashing up. And I was just like, you know what? I was calm. Do you want to just jump in with my friends, right? And I'm going to meet you there. Let me just sort this thing out. It's moving cars. She's like, no, you're right. I'll stay. No, that's calm. It's cool. So anyway, she was cool, right? She went with them. It was cool. And I thought, this is all going left anyway. The date was cool, but
it wasn't.
You're going to be in a club and man going to be, you know what I mean? Actually, this is how the SOS video that I did recently, we recreated some of it. But so I'm in there. I call up the dealership. I said to the guy, listen, the car's mashed up. It was only in the thing like a week ago, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, you want to live the life, live it. It doesn't cut. They don't give you like the little details of, the thing's going to break down every other week. Went to the guy, called the guy. He said, listen, just do a little reset. You turn it on 10 times. It resets the ignition and you open the door 10 times. And I was like, yo. And these times I'm thinking, this is Ashton Kutcher thing. Ashton Kutcher
you're
pop out on the
thinking
MTV punk thing. You know what I mean? You're outside the Ting Valley, on and on and on. Door coming, bam, bam, bam. And I thought, so I was ready for this.
That is so funny.
I was ready because it was just too.
It was
when
too
he said
mad.
about the door,
You cannot make
so
that
I did
up,
it. Timid. I did the turn on.
Yeah.
And the lights are flashing on and off. Bare people come out the thing and feeling like, but I thought, it's calm. MTV
Ashton
thing.
Kutcher's gonna come.
It's calm. The camera crew's gonna come.
Yeah.
Open the door on a sly. I didn't even. But weirdly enough, because I knew I felt that the camera crew. I actually did it a bit more like for the theatrics. Yeah. Open it. Bare people outside. Like, bro, what's happened to you? They're moving mad. Like door opening 10 times. I go back in, nothing's happening, I don't see Ashton Kutcher either. So I looked at him. I really gave it some time. Maybe I thought I did it like he wants me to do it one more time because to catch it, didn't come. Call him back. I said, bro, the thing's not working. This is peak. And it's so hot in here, and bare people coming out of this place. He said, look, I can send you a flat bed tow truck to come pick you up. It's going to take an hour and a half.
Oh, God.
Now, I come out late anyway, right? So now the place is running. I goes, well, that's the only thing I can do. I'm not going to leave the car because last time I did that, this is a long old car story, but it was on the back of a flat tow. One tow truck. Remember there used to be a show where they showed the cars getting picked up?
Oh, yeah, they didn't pay their things. Yeah.
Oh, my God. I saw one time one guy's car going down the road, like this, on an angle, bumper getting crashed off. The car was nice and it was getting mashed. And I was like, I can't. So I stayed there. And I had this crazy epiphany in the middle of it. Because like I said, when I grew up in Southampton, there was an arcade called, remember that you could play Quasar, that laser thing? And there was a Laser Quest? Or
Yeah.
So there was a one called Quasar. And it had an arcade machines and there was a one racing game machine called Outrun. And I used to play that one, put bare pound coins in that. It was the same red car. And they would always have this guy with his arm around this woman and they'd be driving through the streets or through the Miami with palm trees. I was like, wow. Next thing you know, I have this moment where I kind of got, it's like a maddest feeling. I switched from having like, you know when you had that out-of-body experience where you felt like you were back to being 14 a minute?
Mm-hmm.
I went to being back to being 14, but in this outrun game. Because I was like, wait a minute, man's in a Ferrari, yeah? I live in Miami. I just had a nice steak. I'm in a Ferrari. I'm looking at the stitching like, wow. And then I sort of felt like I was back in this thing, literally, but legit. It was a mad one. I know people would be like, yo, bro, what did they give you in that steak? But it was wild. And I literally was back into that to feeling like I'm putting pound coins in. Now I went back to being in Miami and I just started to cry in the car by myself. So now people are thinking, this guy is lost. He opened the door, the lights are come on, man's crying. It's like, yo, what happened? And it was one of those moments where I just realized it gave me a clear sense of gratitude and how far I'd come, and that even in those circumstances, somehow I was stressing about this tow truck not coming, when actually all it was a moment to show you how far you've come, how beautiful your life is. You're gonna get picked up in something at some point, and you'll get taken home. The car will get fixed. Everything's calm, and it just that was a reset for me because it just showed me a man was getting 2 gas, 2 in the sauce, and it was shortly after that I came back to the UK because the whole thing started to fall apart.
Yeah.
You know
That moments of gratitude is so lovely. I had one not too long ago. I don't know if I said it in the podcast. I remember a bottle of water spilled in my bag and my laptop was in it.
Oh man.
So like the laptop stopped working. And I remember being like, for God's sake, like there was, and you know with the Max is like, you're buying a new laptop. There's nothing you're going to do about that. That's it. So then in the same day, I went to Apple and bought another Mac. And I came and I just started crying because I was like, a couple of years ago, myth.
It would have been over.
Like, as in, I would have no laptop. There would be nothing I can do about it. I would just, or if I did have a laptop, I'd have to go buy a crappy little laptop for the meantime. But like, look how far you come that something broke that was really expensive and you could afford to go change it.
That's beautiful.
And instead of being so angry, I was just like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah, thank God.
Yeah. I was just like, because and also those memories are so, they're not that far-fetched.
Yeah, not at all.
It's not like, oh, it's that far away. I remember going to Santander because I only had £6 in my account and I had to go in, because you know you can't take out £5.
No, you cannot.
And I was like, can I take out my money? You have to go into the bank to ask them to give you your money because you can't take out that £5 at the cash machine. It's like, that's not a far-fetched, that was, you remember that memory.
Yeah.
So then now being in a completely different space, that is like, wow, like, look at your life. Are you like spiritual or religious in any way?
Oh, fully, through and through. So firstly, that's beautiful. No, I just love that you saying that touched my heart, because it to go in and to get that £5 out. Do you know what I mean? And the queue's there. And,
No, literally.
And you're like,
you say it so loud. They always do that.
And then they're like, how do you want that?
Yeah, how do you want it, coin?
You're like, I'll just take the note, but
just give me my £5.
you're just saying that you can give me £1 and 20p.
Right.
Yeah, fully. So I mean, I grew up with my dad's side with like being Seventh-day Adventist, like his side of thing. My mum's side, even though she was kind of just chill, like with everything, but I knew that my grandma had reformed Jewish, so she kind of gone from like she'd gone Judaism, so it was like had that mix. But then I was also in Southampton walking around seeing like bare temples and being like, yo, this is vibe, the incense coming out there, and I'm seeing bare big elephant of Ganesh and thinking, yo, this is vibe. And also growing up in a multicultural society in Southampton. I always felt like I had, and I talk about this in the song In Your Hands, there was always this guiding force, which for me, I couldn't articulate what that was. And I know it was like, on one hand, it was like an intuitive hit to do certain things. Like, I'm not coming out to play today, I need to finish a song. Or there's moments where you could move mad and get yourself in some sort of trouble because someone was on some move in the estate. It was like, oh yeah, come through, bro. I got bare different things. Or let me sell you all these different. And you're like, nah, something's not feeling right about this, yeah? And when you took the right move, you always got that uplifted feeling. When you went left, that you knew it always felt wrong. So that just stayed with me. So I always have this one-on-one with God, the universe. I always feel like whatever it is, that however you want to interpret what that is, it's all for me, it's the same in my heart. Like, I know that I'm always being led, and it makes life magical because, like I said, when you're pushing against doors that don't open and you recognize that actually that's just God's way of saying, okay, cool. Yeah, you want to keep mashing up your head against the thing, but there's a door open there and it will take you like straight down the path. You didn't go see the Scarecrow and the Lion and all them people, the Wizard of Oz, will take you straight to the Emerald Castle. But if you want to keep going down that one, that's calm.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's really served me well. It's just it gives life purpose and substance. I mean, how about it for you? I mean, you talked about God earlier, so I was like...
I'm religious, and I feel like it's as I said earlier, like I like being compliments, blah 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 blah. I think it would be insane to believe I got myself here.
Mm-mm.
I think like I don't think anything is more egotistical and ridiculous to not believe that there is a God outside of me, right? There is something that fuels me. There is something that like makes me go that way instead of this way, right? There is something that's like, and you see it as well, like you're saying when you're fighting against it, where it's like sometimes someone's telling you, or God is telling you, leave this place. And you're like, oh no, I'm not ready. And then something happens like, well, I guess it was time to leave. Like, it was like, you're not gonna listen. You're like, cool. Like get on up. And I'm really grateful to that. I was brought up a Christian, so it's something I regard very, very highly. I think it's insane to believe that there is not something bigger than you.
I feel you. So how about yourself?
Yeah, same. I'm a Christian as well, and I just feel like I often think about how like privileged my life has been.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one thing that I think, and sometimes I get scared. I'm like, oh my God, does it mean that the other side is going to be crazy? But the same with Solly, like there has to be something higher and bigger and better that's been blessing me, even sometimes undeservedly. Like that's one of my things. Like when I talk to God, I'm like, I don't feel like I deserve all of this, but you know, there's someone guiding me. I that one I know for a fact.
Oh,
yeah, like, not even up for debate.
100%.
Yeah,
and that's why I feel like it's for me. What with meeting so many different faiths and walking through life, you see that at the core of everything is that connection to something that's greater than you. That is holding you down, and I think that's really helped me because I always feel like there's such a sweet spot for everyone. Everyone wants community. Everyone wants to be connected. And even if you were atheist, to be honest, in some respects, like the fact that you're a non-believer in something means that you believe in something. There's always something that none of us will be able to get that sweet spot until you have that moment where you pass over and then you can then go into a myriad of different ways that you come back. Some people say it's reincarnation. Some would be it's heaven and hell. Some would be heaven and hell's here right now. You don't need to go too far. Just do a nonsense and find out real quick. Or you can feel what heaven is. Some's like looking for Jesus to come physically to come down. Some are saying like it's actually inside of you. Like I am the way, the truth, and the life. That's what Jesus said. Like you are the way. Is it literal? I am as someone, or is it you?
Is it in you? Is it within you? Is it out?
Are you embodying it? And I think it's just like I love it because I feel like, especially like when I talk about just with Easter that's just gone, you look at the resurrection and you look at everything that's gone, and you just like you want to act in ways that how would Jesus do about this? Like, how would because he genuinely like when I look at the stories and how he handled things. Like he had to do some things like, you know, he needed 12 disciples with him, firstly. He wasn't on a lonely quest, He had to draw for some, a crew. Do you know what I mean?
I know it sounds bad, but do you know how bossy I think it is? That Jesus was like, I know one of you is going to betray me. I think that's the bossiest thing.
Because he was so right.
Imagine meeting all your friends.
He'd be knowing.
Right? You're just chilling, right? He just stopped, like, yo, you man. I know one of you.
And everyone's like, not me, boy.
Everybody feels like,
not me. It's like, it ain't gonna be me. Do you think Judas knew? Do you think Judas was thinking, oh shit, I've been clocked. He's clocked my tea. He's clocked my tea, honey.
It's just the randomness of the way that you're breaking it down.
I know one of you man's gonna betray me.
Yeah. Like, straight. 100%. That's why I think it's just super blessed to have to have something inside of you that connects and you can be grateful and thankful for these things. Because like I said, when I'm on the microphone and I'm singing, something's coming through. God is using me as a source, and it's a case of, well, if I overthink it, I'll get in the way of it. So really, it's just getting out of the way and
Have
allowing.
you seen Sinners?
I haven't yet.
There's a scene I'm going to talk to you about if you haven't seen it. No, it won't make it. Because I've always think it's not spoiler necessarily. It talks about, it's about black people, there's slavery in it and things like that. And there is a bit where Delroy is telling us, the actor's called Delroy in real life. But I can't remember. Do you know what you're Delroy?
No.
Everyone thinks he's American, but he's not. You definitely, we saw him once on the street and I was like,
oh, that actor. Yeah.
I like that was the reference point.
That's on the street.
Get one chicken shawarma.
And he was telling this story in the car about his experience with slavery and how he ran away and whatever. And from that experience, it kind of goes into song.
Okay.
And this whole idea of like soul and that kind of music and how it kind of, a lot of it comes from like a version of pain that black people have felt. Do you know if it's like, I think there's a cadence and there's a voice, there's a soul in music sang by black people that's like, oh, there's always something there. You see it from the church, from people that have experienced this. And I don't know, I kind of think that's what God gave us. I think he was like, that's your thing.
Yeah, that's your gift.
Yeah, because do you know when you hear
Yeah,
people
yeah.
like, oh, this song was originally for this person, and then you hear them singing, you hear the other person singing, it was like, that's
That's
just
two completely different
that's
songs.
just stayed with the black person.
Yeah.
No, I
because you
I
hear
feel
the
you.
soul in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Because there's that ancestral lineage thing
Yeah,
that
I
goes
just think
on.
there's just something in us.
That, and when you look at, especially when you deep it, like looking at our parents. I mean, looking at my dad came over as part of the Windrush generation, and his mum, and just everything that they had to sort of go through when they came here, and not even to have the opportunity is one thing, and we're grateful because I wouldn't be here if my dad didn't come through. But it wasn't like you just came off the boat and this is we're calm here.
Yeah,
It was like we're off the boat. I don't know where we're staying.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, especially in Southampton, there was a lot
Yes,
of like
course.
the Asian
Yeah.
community
Yes, of
were
course,
super
yeah.
strong, and that's why they were really close, because people would be like, "Yo, come stay around, stay in my house."
Yeah.
And then it became, do you know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
when you go cash and carry, you see bare different things.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you see
yeah.
all the different spices from all over the world, like kind of, because everyone was looking for community, and that happens in all
Because the
walks
port
of
was
life.
one of the ports was in Southampton. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, we've got a big one down there.
Yeah.
So, and it's only more recently that my dad's like told me stories of like coming over and things he had to go through, and just, and he says, son, like you wouldn't even imagine like some of the things that you're experiencing now, like it wasn't even imaginable back in the day. And there was a big thing at the Royal Albert Hall recently, where they had the Windrush gathering of lots of people. That was, I don't want to say the exact date because I'll probably get it wrong with how many years it was from, but my dad came, and oh my gosh, to see his smile on his face, because I was doing a little performance there. I was like, yo, my dad, and I know my dad doesn't open up too tough, but when he does, I'm just like, that connection to have with him, and for all of us here to be of a generation now moving forward, like to show that the breadth of talent and creativity and love, but nothing's forgotten, but at the same time we're moving.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing for parents to enjoy.
I think it's one of those things I always say, that we're an immigrant's dream. Like you said, you're getting to live this life that wasn't imaginable to them, but you haven't forgotten. Like many of us still, like, we have a touch, a grasp of our culture. Like, so it's not like they came here, they had you here, and you just ran so far away from it.
Yeah,
many of us are still so rooted in it, but we get to live a freedom that they just didn't have. Like, we just haven't forgotten.
Absolutely.
And on the topic of Windrush, TFL, you raggedy bastard.
What have they done now?
So I've been waiting to get this off for ages. Nothing annoys me more than the Windrush line, because do you know there is a line that they've just called? It goes from Shoreditch, the Overground, basically. They call one of it. They just called it their Windrush line, and it annoys me so much. Yeah, because it's like, this is not what they asked for.
Right. Yeah.
They asked for reparations. They asked for respect. They asked for a passport. They asked for stay. They asked to be able to travel freely. And you said, wait a minute, we'll know what
we'll name a line after this movement.
A train line.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, probably about 50 suited and booted men sat in the room and was like, yeah.
This is the one.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, this is it. The line that goes from Shoreditch High Street, I think Peckham, Lewisham, or that Overground line, the Windrush line.
Do you know what's
funny? Jars me.
No, but you getting off it's good to get it off your chest, because not only do you highlight something that you feel. Yeah, I feel you. It's like you know what, you want to make sure that everyone's passport is locked in one time, and they're not thinking, yo, my passport going to take it.
And they're not feeling like, oh, I'm stuck in the country, I can't come back. What are you saying? You're going to give them a train
contributed
line?
massively to.
100. I feel you with that. I have these conversations with my dad, and like, in even him traveling outside of the country, like I could just feel in his eyes, he's just like, it's calm. I just think I'll just stay. Just because I'm not sure. Like, even though your passport cool, that you can go anywhere, I've got you. But I just feel like it's ingrained from those kind of feelings of fear of like, I'm not sure. It's never quite sure.
Yeah.
Never quite. Are we actually?
Am I good?
Home?
Am I okay? Yeah.
But I feel like you're a perfect example of someone who can now take that torch and the fire and the flame and land certain things where it's like, okay, cool. Okay, we'll take the Windrush line. You want that was token sort of like the gesture thing. But we want the real things. And then you can use platforms to then shine light on these things in a way that lands as well. Because I always feel like you don't want it to feel like you got a chip on your shoulder where it's like you're just drumming on, you're hammering on the drum. It's like, okay, cool. Do you know what I mean? I just want to do let's tell me some fun things.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But there's ways to finesse it in a way that you land the thing, but in a way that's like, if you know, and we're moving, and then you'll check back for things that are important. Like I said, it's important for me to check in Southampton. It's important for me to check back and go and do things that aren't about anything to do money, music, just check in with certain things. Because I now have a platform that has to be more than just like the music. You know what I'm saying? You get to a point, it's like, oh, what? You're doing it still because you want a few more streams? Oh my gosh, you've missed the whole. That's why I think God sets you up with a thing. Give you the vibe. I'll give you the tunes. I gave you 7 days, man. I didn't even have to chill on a Sunday. You actually were running the days. And I even said you know how special the Sunday is.
God, you did chill on Sunday.
Oh,
yeah,
you
like
are
God
a
said.
child of God.
You
You
really
really
are.
said,
You rested
I will
on the
not be
seventh
making
day.
love on this day. I will go to church and chill. Love that.
You do your thing. Court well. Make love. I was.
You didn't say
it was making love on a Wednesday.
Making
it was
love.
Trust me, and also my grandma and my mum were in the other room when I was writing this song, so I had to be careful with them kind of words. You know what I mean?
But making love on make love Wednesday, Thursday. Wait.
Second Tuesday.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Saturday,
We
fucking hell.
rested
If you're
on
young,
Saturday.
You were
rested
making
on
love.
you're young
I mean,
and
when
you're
you're
fine.
young, you do have that kind
if
of
you're
energy.
young, ready and steady.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
guess
mean?
so. When you're 17, you can do all of those making loves. Yeah.
Just gas.
Yeah, that's
Too much
true.
testosterone.
That video was so sick.
Yeah, that was a really
good
good
times,
video.
man.
Oh, so good.
Yeah,
Good times.
lasted the 8.
Yeah,
tested
so
the,
good.
standing the
Stood
test
the
of time.
time.
Stood the test of time. That's
Oh my
the
God,
same.
we're talking about the Sting song earlier as well.
Oh my
What
God.
was that
Yeah,
like?
Rise and Fall, banger.
Do you know what? Okay, firstly, like having a song with Sting, wow.
Exactly.
Sting. It's crazy. And the fact that he was so cool to actually be part of the song.
Yeah.
So firstly, let me use the guitar line from Shape of My Heart. Do you remember the film Leon? Have you ever seen the film Leon?
Is it about the devil?
No.
Oh, the wrong Leon.
No, different.
That's just the one you dated.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, that was an ex.
Yeah, remember Leon from... Do you know what I mean?
No, what was Leon about?
So it was like it was like kind of someone got kidnapped, and then there was like someone who had to go back in there to deal with the situation, and a bit like Taken but different.
Okay.
But anyway, on the trailer, the rolling credits, it plays out in Shape of My Heart. That's where I heard it first. I was like, yo, this is crazy. Let me sample this, put it on had an MP3 player back then, did a little loop. Then I started, sometimes in life you feel the fight is over. And it seems as though the writing's on the wall. Superstar, you finally made it, but once your picture becomes tainted, it's what they call.
They do call it
the rise and fall.
The surf and water. Full fucking circle.
So I'm telling you, like,
What a banger.
some of these ones that, not even some, every single song has just been.
And you wrote all of them?
run it. Yeah, I mean, so.
You don't talk about that enough. Oh,
Yeah,
God, you need
because-
to give me certain talents.
Yeah, because mate, even Walking Away, that's my other favourite song.
Oh, wow.
You wrote that one as well?
Mm.
That
Wow.
song, it
That-
touches me.
It hits.
I'll just leave it there. But I know I really love that song.
See, the power of the pause. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Silence
The
is
millennial
everything.
pause.
And I
Exactly
like
where you
that.
went to.
They get me all the time from my millennial pause. Like anytime I post anything on TikTok, they're like, Audrey, this millennial pause.
Why can't we stop and think?
Exactly. Can't people
What's wrong with
process?
stopping and thinking
Nah,
and
what's wrong with
processing
processing? We
things?
can't always just be on the go.
Yeah, but
Sometimes
it's true.
process.
It's like if there's no space between the notes, it's just noise, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you need a little.
Yeah.
Remember there's long intros they used to have on tunes back in the day?
Yeah, exactly.
Just
they don't make
calm.
songs like that anymore.
Or the outro.
Oh my God.
On my way here, I was listening to En Vogue.
What one?
Hold on.
Hold on.
And I literally was listening to it and I was just like,
Come
they
back
don't make
to
music
you.
like
Yeah,
this
none of
anymore.
that you don't.
But I proper was like, no, I don't care. I don't care if I sound old. They don't make music like
Apparently,
this anymore.
When you get to 32, was it 32 or 33, you stop looking for new pop music.
That,
So you
yeah,
just
that
kind
sounds
of
about right.
freeze and just kind of listen to what it is
you
that you like,
love.
especially when it comes to pop. You just listen to all the things that you listen to. You don't listen to new pop music.
Yeah,
anymore.
because
By
I'm not
32,
trying
you're
to.
kind of like,
I'm,
"Oh,
yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to discover new things like that. But I did also want to ask you, what are your relationships like with your peers, like the people that you came up with at the time, like the Mystiques, the Shola Ammers, and all of that? Do you have like? Can we do like some sort of reunion tour with everybody
Oh my
of that
God.
era?
Oh, like when they're the full. They do that a lot in America, you know.
They do.
Like, you know that.
Like,
right?
as
and
in,
like
like,
So Solid and all of
yeah.
those people.
Oh, you
like
do the
I'll be
full-
front row. I wanted to go Garage Nation, but it fell on my actual birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
sick though.
Oh,
It looks so
you would have
good.
loved that one.
Mm.
Garage Nation
I wanted
was
to go
vibing.
so badly.
Are you there?
I did a little surprise.
Yeah.
Did you do
I
a surprise?
pulled up. I was ready to pull up. You would have been on your
Oh.
birthday. It would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have
Okay,
been
so
sick.
that
So
for
who
me.
do you hate?
Exactly.
Oh,
That's what I was really trying to
No,
get
I'm
at.
joking. I'm joking. What's the vibe? Do people still
No.
chill and get
Yeah.
on and all
No,
of
do you know
that?
what? I love you. It's love. Like so, Shola Amma. I mean, I imagine. Sorry, that tune was like, but her whole album and stuff, like her just music. I remember as I was just getting signed, she was like, just popping off with her songs. But Shola, I mean, you got
She
Kelly
looks
Kelly
LeRock.
great
LeRock.
as well.
Yeah.
Shola Among
And
us.
Kelly
Mystique,
LeRock.
Kelly LeRock,
Alicia
yeah.
Dixon, obviously,
Yeah.
we've done a few bits, like we did the Walk the Line, which was like a
That TV show.
TV show we
Mm.
did with her on a panel judging thing that was vibey. And just seeing her be able to, even doing that, where she just like, there was some beatbox guys doing some beatbox as the contestants on it. And then when they threw to us, I was like, okay, cool. Run a little beat, my man. Let me give you one freestyle thing. Some of them are 8, some of them are love. And
No, Alicia can.
Yeah,
She
she
has
will
it on
actually
as
jump.
well.
Yeah, she
was
will
ready.
jump
She
on
went
and
back
just
into
go.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
she's
wasn't a
sick.
preconceived. It wasn't
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
she goes
I
into
looked
it.
at her. And people, that's funny when I look at the comments, yeah, because sometimes people are like, yeah, but she got a piece of paper in front of her and then she had better. I said, no, she got a piece of paper because she was about to say if she liked the contestant.
Yeah,
or not.
yeah, rather than, yeah.
She just got the memo. I looked at her and she's
She's not even looking
I
at the
love
paper.
She
it.
went
Do
with
you
me
like
and
nudge
took
that
it
sign?
Yeah.
Like,
Brain
yeah,
off
yeah,
the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I was like, when it's in your heart, when it's
Yeah,
in
yeah,
you,
yeah.
it's in you. You can't get it. And so all of the people that are going, I mean, that's why even like the Usher thing more recently.
Oh my God. Okay. So I don't know if you guys have seen the video of you being Usher's concert and Usher brings you out and the wall.
Yeah. the
One
crowd
thing
was
about a
going crazy.
UK crowd, we're going to sing along.
Mhm.
Every single word was being sang along to. And we are going to, someone said apparently it's because of school assemblies, because we used to have to sing in school assemblies.
Oh, really?
So apparently it's in us to be able to sing along. 'Cause sometimes you watch an American crowd and they don't sing
Yeah, they
like
don't
we do.
vibe
Like
like a
we
UK
kind of
crowd,
just
yeah.
go in. What was that experience like? Because I watched that video, I was like, oh my God, I'm so happy.
I appreciate you. It was so wholesome.
How did he, who called you? Usher Raymond?
Yeah.
Yeah, how did it come about?
How did that happen?
You can call him Usher now. There you go.
That
be a
is my
creep.
man.
Yeah. Guy,
Usher
yeah.
don't like keep it coded.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's 7 o'clock and you know what I
Talk
mean.
to me about me.
So, but he did say, you know what I mean, like if you're passing through receipts, you could just drop a few number. I got, you know what I mean. Just let her to make sure she
Let her
rings
know
off the
she's good.
DM
Yeah,
when she
yeah, yeah.
finishes. You know what I mean? I'm ready for it. Do you know what? He actually reached out to Jack, who's my manager, like, and he was like, "Okay, it's Craig about." Well, his manager hit him. It wasn't him first. It was like his manager hit up. But prior to this, I'd literally gone down to Southampton to do to go and see the flat with my mum.
That's insane.
On the way back, my mum, I dropped my mum home and she pulled out the CD chain with the diamonds on it that I'd had done when I was like 17. So it was like, and it was very much off of Usher's U chain.
Yeah.
When he's spinning it round. I was like,
remember that.
I need a CD.
I didn't change.
Yeah.
I need a chain. I ain't put that on for like 20 odd years, yeah. That got put in a little box and left it with my mum. She pulled it out and I don't know, you know how mums are so intuitive, right? She's just like, I was pulling out some pictures and stuff because she brought some pictures over to the flat to look at of me as a young kid while we were inside. In my fields. She goes, I found your pendant. Did you want to take it back up to London with you? And I was like, not really, but
Sure.
I was, okay, let me take it with me. 2 days later, the call comes through. Oh, do you want to pass through to Usher's doing like his concerts? He was saying if you can come out and do a little special guest, do a couple of tunes.
Oh.
I thought, you know what? I think I might have to pull out
You
the
have to wear my
CD
chain.
chain.
Yeah, you have to wear your chain.
I think we might-
Oh shit, no, I'm not a small boy.
I might
You need
have to
have
pull
got a
out
chain,
that
sir.
thing, yeah. Right? And listen, to go out on stage and to hear the raw to film me in. Because he mentioned, and I was thinking, are people going to clock this? Because he says something, he was over at the part where he's got like the whole pole dancing vibe and the whole club thing going on the other stage, the satellite stage. And I was coming out from like the main stage behind the wall. And he's like, yeah, you know, when I come over to the UK and it's like, we do the R&B thing and, you know, I love my garage crew. And I was thinking, people have got to clock this. But they're like, you Usher with garage.
I love when they lie.
Oh.
That man is
I mean, he
It
did
was
make
a-
that song
it
that
was a
sounds a bit
sweet lie.
garagey.
That guy's a liar.
It was a sweet one. You know, sweet,
my
pretty
God.
lie.
That
You know
sounds
what
a
I
bit
mean?
garagey.
Try and put try to put a little stuff. When the thing opened and I walked out, I knew it was loud because I've got my in-ear monitor in it, and that's like filtering out most of what's going on. I'm just hearing the tune.
What do you hear in your ear?
So I've got my in-ears like molds that I put in, and I'm just hearing like music. I'm doing my check 1, 2 on my mic. I'm just like you got headphones on, yeah. So I can't really, and you can have like the crowd like.
So we're just
filtered
shouting
in.
for shouting's sake. They can't hear us.
I mean, you can have it filtered through. You can hear the crowd coming through.
My ego, I would need
Yeah,
that.
I would need-
I need to know
need
that
to
I'm doing
hear.
a good job.
You can for sure you can hear it. I don't want to. It's not like it's silent,
Okay.
but
Mm.
it's. You take it out, you'll learn real quick.
Yeah.
Like-
Also, sometimes after they do that when they take it out.
And when they take it out, most times I think they're taking it out because they haven't got the mix right. So they can't quite hear themselves properly. So they're trying to get a reference from the crowd or from the music, from the monitors they got on stage as well.
Oh, that's cool.
But anyway, so I come out, I hear the crowd crazy. I'm thinking, yo, because it's coming out through my mic as well. So I'm just like, yo, this is loud, you know. I was joking, it's gonna stone in Paris. And I knew that we were gonna get round to the front and then Usher would try and make his way over from the satellite stage to meet me for 7 days. And I was thinking, yo, there's a long way to come here. He's got to come through all the crowd. So I'm just ready, because I thought I'm gonna be in.
Yeah.
He landed it perfect. You know, like an Usher is.
Like a professional.
Those musicians,
Walk up. But I didn't expect him to say the words he said on stage. I mean, talk about giving man his flowers. Like, he didn't have to say that, any of that. Like, do you know what I mean? And it hit different because I've met Usher at different stages in my career. We did my first Vibe magazine cover was with Usher in the States, and it was with Faith Evans and Blue Cantrell. And I remember that like it was yesterday. It was so wholesome. I mean, imagine Faith Evans.
That's
insane. That's iconic.
Insane.
Blue Cantrell just about to do Oops Up, Hit 'Em Up style.
Breathe.
And just,
was it Breathe?
Breathe, yeah. And she just hit 'em up style.
Yeah.
Both, yeah.
So between Breathe. Let's breathe.
Yeah.
Sean Paul coming through.
Trying to
I'm having to pull that one out on the way home. But yeah, anyway, he said these beautiful things. And then having Usher on stage while I'm doing 7 days at home, having done the week before, 2 weeks or so before, having done my my own thing. Usher, it was a full circle moment because I'm thinking, yo, I was that kid in my bedroom prior to doing this when I was hearing all the time I think of you, holding on to
And he was a
someone
baby.
new.
He was a baby.
What tunes?
Yeah.
And then My Way album. So it was just a beautiful full circle. And then the following week it was like Garage Nation.
Yeah.
I was coming out. I was like a surprise man.
You've been busy.
In and out.
Do you feel like the industry is giving you your flowers?
Yeah.
And
honestly.
Okay. So it depends.
You need
on
more flowers.
I like
you
that
need
you-
need roses dashed at your
It
head.
depends on what. You know what? And I know you're going to say this is gas and it's just a joke thing. You're just saying it every time you walk through a podcast or you're talking to someone. This right here is the flowers.
Okay, but what else?
Okay.
Dig deep.
I need to
because
pull up in
I think it's okay to feel like, and it's not in a cocky way, it's not in an arrogant way, but it's like, because I think sometimes with music and musicians, we can be quite like throwaway about it.
Yeah, for real.
Like, do you know what I mean? Someone else comes and then we're all fans and then someone else goes away and whatever. And then you see even in the music that has happened because of you. Like, I am really big on saying thanks to everybody that's done something and then it has allowed me to be. I always say, if there was no June Sarpong, there is no me in this world.
You, best
there just isn't, right? If there isn't Angelica Bell, there is no me in this space, right? And I think it's okay for Craig David to be like, you man, you know, if there wasn't...
Yeah, you paved the way.
There was no UK R&B.
Yeah, that's actually true.
And tell them when you see them.
No, do you know what? No, genuinely, yeah. I love it because you wear your heart on the sleeve, yeah. It's like you said before, you want to see the gifts, right?
Like, come on.
Let me tell you, I need the gifts.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's like, I genuinely in my heart, and I know it feels like I'm either just trying to swerve or gassing it in a different way. But when I come on, we talk about the things, early doors when you said about how the songs hit. And being in a space, look, we've got a big podcast, right? Yeah. And I could gas myself up and say,
but you're giving us 4 back.
No.
You're doing that thing again?
No, but hear this one. I'm going to answer it though.
Okay.
I promise you.
Okay. You're doing that. I'm giving you a compliment. You're giving me 4 back.
No, I'm only giving you
I don't want any.
I'm giving you nothing back. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay,
this is just
it's not about us.
more of a observational
okay.
thing. This is a new space, right? For me. The audience that are going to be listening to you is going to be a new space. But wow, okay, you got Craig on, that's cool. And some people be all about it and they're with it. So the fact that to be in a new space 25 years later, for me, and it not be talking about just throwback and we've got new singles and new album and all the things and we're doing these things we just talked about and Usher and the flowers on it feels like it's only down to the ego of what is it that you want. Do you want people to line up outside like the thing with flowers and petals and some red carpet thing and say, if you got your flowers now? Or do you want more accolades to give you the flowers? Because when I look at that, we use some of the video for Wake Up. Oh, you're in for a treat. When you see it is vibes. Oh yeah. When you see it, I don't want to gas it up, but when you see it, it's wicked. But I looked at some of the things that like, so Ivan Novello Awards for songwriting, which is like our version of the Grammys, right? Yeah. Back in the day when I got one of those, I didn't even know what Ivan Novello's was at the time, right? So when I was given Songwriter of the Year, these are the prestigious awards that people would like wait 20 odd years to like, oh, I've never got one. They've written the biggest songs ever, yeah? And I was like, wow. But when they gave me the Mobo, I was like, wow. I know
Yeah,
the
because you know
Mobos,
it, because you
yeah.
know the Mobos. Yeah.
So to answer your question, is that I feel like I have my flowers. Like I go to bed at night, not feeling that, oh, I could have had more, or I need to have played Wembley Stadium to be enough. Because that's the trick. And then going back to God and being connected, is you want to talk about devil? That's the little trick. It will sneak up on you and tell you, if you didn't get your flowers done, and you need to go on the street and get one of those, like, you know what I mean, one favela just for vibes, and get another one mad foghorn thing and let everyone know, oh, you didn't give me my flowers. And it's tricky road when you go down there. And I feel for me is that it's, like I said, the stories, the anecdotes, the fact that I'm healthy, my friends are good, we're moving. I've just been on O2, like literally living in the place here. And I went back to my home to Southampton, went in my flat. I saw a single mother and her kids, and they gassed the whole family. Like, oh my God, like you came back, sing a couple tunes in there. They're here and film me. And I'm thinking, yo, you have no idea. I wrote the song here. The walls must, like, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, I remember when this guy was, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many beautiful things. And it's just, it's like, what is your thing of flowers? And once you realize that actually you always were enough, and if you took all this away, which is the wild thing, that if I was back in Southampton, I would actually say, and I came off the board and I was in the water, and I did just say, I would say, how much more do you want? That sounds like, I don't want to say the amount of millions of records. Oh no, but it's cumulative, it's crazy. How many streams, how many, the stories, it's too wild that you just get to a point in life where you just, I'm content. I'm whole now. I think more so whole in myself. And when you walk down the street, it's different. And you have a different swag in your step. You don't almost need an external authority to give you the validation. And then you don't live your whole life waiting in anticipation for someone to say you're enough now. You just go to bed and say, walk back to your relationship with God, right? God's always said you're enough. It's you when you're playing yourself is when God wants to slap you up on the side of your face and just say, like, listen, how many times do you want to keep playing this game? I created you. You're in the image of God. You're moving like you ain't. And when you get that,
it's so
you
true.
got the receipts.
It's so true, you know, because I feel like that whole flowers thing, because
why do you need them to give that to you?
I told
exactly.
you like it's immeasurable, because like you were saying, if you're constantly waiting, like when are the flowers enough? Like when do you meet that glass ceiling where it's like, okay, well, I've got my flowers now. That's enough
like
flowers.
How many shout-outs
Stop
do you
now.
need? How many people do you need to say,
and
Craig David in the
exactly. And because sometimes I feel that way even about us, like with what we've done, and obviously not on the same scale, anything that you've achieved, of course, but just like in terms of just like comparatively, I feel the same. It's just like we've been doing this for so long, and sometimes you can feel overlooked. And what I've had to remember is like, actually what really matters is the lives you changed. And I always remember that. It's like, when we meet our listeners and stuff like that, and or even when they write to us and all the rest of it, and they're like, I can't live without the podcast, or like never stop, or blah, blah, blah. Like that to me is like, that's where I get my flowers from. No like external validation from the industry or awards. I mean, they would be nice and please keep them coming. But like you can't live off of that. You can't feed off of that, because it's
100%.
It's, you know, it's fleeting.
It's like, when people are looking at being of service, sometimes people are sort of searching for what that is. It's like, you try to give a definition of it, of like, it's like community service, or not community service, like you've done something wrong, but for the community. Imagine. Or having to think of ways that I can be of service, but actually you're doing it. The frequency of your voice and the way that your synergy between the two of you, how you land what you do, the way you say it, the way that people now are resonating with it, that's being of service. That's doing God's work. God didn't say to go out there and like, it's got to be tough and hard, and you can make it as hard as you want. Like you can make it as easy as you want. And I think sometimes when it is easy, you almost want to make it a bit harder because you feel like it makes you feel like, you
like
owned it. And I think when you get that, you're like, wow, you're actually doing the thing. And all of the glory and the things you'll get will come along the way. And one other thing is that you'll always be tested in this life. Never think that as soon as you think you've got it, you've got to the thing, you'll get a little upside your face quickly one time. Just to show you, just to keep you, and it's not to keep you in place, it's just to say, just get yourself out of the way, get the ego out of the way, and just do what what lights you up. And you've been doing, that's why I love seeing you two, because you two, you bounce off each other so beautifully. And to have a fan base that they go away, and you don't know how you save people's lives. You don't know one conversation that was just like the one that was pivotal for someone who was about to end their life in some mad thing, because they heard your thing, like, you know what? I might just stay around for one more day. She said one thing that just got spun me, and I was like, you know what? And then you have no idea how many people you're touching.
Yeah.
And when you deep that, when you go to bed, you say, this is best.
Yeah, these are the real
This is
flowers.
It's so weird because obviously this is the first time I've ever met you, but it feels like you've grown up. Do you know there are sometimes you speak to a man, you're like, I'm talking to a grown man. Like, do you know, I'm talking to a grown up. I'm talking to someone who has like learned from their mistakes, had experiences, and is now who they are because of those experiences and those mistakes and things like that. And so what now? What's the music now from a grown man that is Craig David? Like there was 17-year-old who was writing all those songs. What does, I don't know how old you are.
43.
Okay, what does 43-year-old Craig David sound like? What's the music now? What are you talking about?
That's such a good, that you nailed it in
Thanks, I
terms of,
smashed that.
yeah. You know what? You hit it. You articulated it beautifully. It was smooth. There was, do you know what I mean? It was playful. It was vibing. No, that's your frequency, right? USP on lock. Do you know what? For me now is like, even when I look at the run of songs, right? So the first song, even from this latest like project, the album's called, if I even look at my album titles, yeah, it's just like, you can't even make it up. Because I'm not going about, gotta say this, and I'm trying to be clever with it. Again, I'm just trying to get out of the way, and something lands. So even Born to Do It, that in a nutshell kind of set the tone, like in a way that Born to Do It was actually from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, which was my favorite movie, as opposed to me being, I'm the guy.
Yeah.
It was just when the boy runs into the candy shop. I don't know if you remember the original, but Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory runs into the candy shop and says to the candy man, how does he do it? The candy man says, my dear boy, do you ask a fish how it swims? He says, no. Do you ask a bird how it flies? He says, no. He says, no, sirree, you don't. They do it because they were born to do it. And I was like,
this is why we don't have, that's sick.
Yeah.
This is why we don't have good music anymore. No
Because
one's watching movies and
stories.
different art forms. People are not taking different art
they're not
forms
taking
into
blending
music
it.
anymore.
But was that also the reference point for the What's Your Flavor video as well?
what's your flavor? 100%.
I thought so.
Because that movie if you ever watch that movie with a slightly different eyes, then you could take it down the whole, the 7 deadly sins. You could be in the Garden of Eden when you go inside the chocolate factory. There's a whole other play on movies. So if you really get underneath a lot of movies, like The Wizard of Oz, that whole thing was about literally Dorothy trying to get all the different fragmented parts that she'd given away, trying to get heart from the Tin Man, wants to have a brain from the Scarecrow, looking for courage. And the thing is, all the time, all she had to do is click her feet. Her shoes, and she would have gone home. But she had to see the charlatan of the wizard and all that kind of stuff to find her all the way to go back home, which was like, I've got to pick up all these pieces just to go back to Kansas. And you could have done it from the start, but that's life, right?
Yeah.
So to answer the thing of where it is now, like the first song, In Your Hands, that for me is just like, it was always in your hands, you know what I mean? You led me. And also to use I didn't want to be sacrilegious with something that was so special, but something that was so fun for me when I was growing up. Like, you got the whole world in your hands. You got the. So I was like, need that. Like, so then the next song being SOS, which touched on the whole Ferrari thing in Miami and like sending out an SOS from like some lighthouse thing, to then move into Commitment, which is the same title track as the album, to have amazing Tiwa Savage, who just bodied that beautifully.
She was here.
Oh, she's good.
Friend of the show.
Yeah,
she's so wholesome, and just her whole vibe.
She's so fun.
That was so nice having on a record. And then leading up to the latest single, Wake Up, which again, they've all got like these undertones of what is it? Is it wake up, like you're going to lose this relationship? Or is it on a collective thing? Wake up. We need to wake up here. You got to stop this story of someone else is gonna come and save you and do that. You gotta pick your feet up and move, you know. Let's stop this, because we've been playing that one for too long now. Wake up. It can be what you want it to be, right? And I think it's the messaging in the songs now is really important to me. It doesn't have to be, I'm not trying to preach to someone, I'm not trying to tell you some story that you have to do anything, because melodies, they cut through. I'm a melody man at heart. So, and most people who go up on stage, like even in politics, they wish they had the melodies. It would cut through half of the stuff.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Someone telling us some big old story and you
Yeah.
just go, ooh, yeah. Cut through quick. Everyone, yo, what are you saying about that?
Can you imagine Boris
Ad-libs
Johnson?
are my favourite part of music.
Yeah.
I love an ad-lib.
They can make or
Old
break a
school
song.
ad-libs used
Favourite
Yeah.
part of
not to
songs.
go in the golden era,
Yeah.
but there's something about you always remember the ad-libs
Ad-libs,
from
yeah.
them tunes from back in the day. You talk about Usher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You remember all the
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's blessed, but I want to make music that's fun. I want to stay in the child inside of me to be a kid. I don't want to. It doesn't have to get all grown and we next thing we have to. No, I'm a kid. I want to do garage. I want to do R&B. I listen to all the young guys doing the thing, and they're actually going back to what we did. The first
Because
time.
they were,
7 days. So when that was sampled recently, how does that work? Do they come to you and are you like, so if someone wanted to sample Fill Me In, 'cause I see that coming, if it hasn't already been done, and it's trash, would you say no?
Okay. Do you know what? Having learned, and this actually is a great full circle back to Sting, yeah, of Let Me Use Shape of My Heart. What I learned from that experience is that when he said to me, okay, you can use the sample, you've done a new melody over this guitar riff, which is huge anyway, right? I'll also give you some publishing.
Yeah.
I asked him, would you be in the video? I asked his daughter, who then said, Dad, you need to be in it. And he was gassing it. I slightly paraphrased that, but he did say that his daughter was the one who said, yeah, you should do this.
Yeah.
He was in the video too. And that moment was such an impactful moment for a young kid getting the cosign from Sting that I would say always, but I will, because otherwise everyone's going to just be
exactly.
rinsing out the thing. I'm seeing
If
Fill Me
you
In,
shit
like,
music, don't be coming trying to ask Craig for samples.
crazy. But if it's within artistic integrity in what they're doing, then as much as technically the copyright we own, I don't own music.
Yeah.
It's like if you're not taking it out into a place and you're saying some defamatory things and doing a madness on it, then run it. And if and usually most of the things that when they come through, they are vibing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if it's not really working, I'll just be like, you know what? Either go away and do it a bit better, and you start to do that move. So I'm kind of open to the.
But I guess it would benefit you anyway because people will always go back and listen to the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what's funny? Yeah, I remember at Talking 7 Days at the same time. Irv Gotti, who's passed now. Yep, the rest of his soul. He sent over an instrumental to me, and he wanted to do a remix for 7 Days, and he sent me this.
Is that how that came about? You're lying.
Big tune, right?
Socials,
Right.
and be clipping this bit. Be clipping this.
So when I heard that first, and then I heard I'd been listening to Biggie's First things first, Papa freaks all the honey. And hearing one more chance, Biggie, give me one more chance. And even those conversations I having with my dad was like, yo, but you know that's the barge, right? Before, and I'm like, cool, great story.
There's always someone
Yeah,
that knows you.
exactly.
There's some,
Please.
you know, take you out of you're having a good time right now. We got to go there, right? So he sent me this instrumental over. I'm like, I didn't know what I could do with it because I was so invested in One More Chance. I was like, what am I going to sing over this except trying to. So it kind of fell through the cracks.
The next thing
you know, see my days are cold without you.
And another one.
While I'm with you. And I was like,
that is an insane story.
But you know what? And this was a great example of when one door closes, which wasn't right for me.
Yeah.
Because people have asked me, how do you feel about it? Do you regret that you didn't do it, that you would have heard
it wouldn't
foolish?
have done that.
Nah, Ashanti needed to do that tune and it needed to ring off the way it did. And it needed to come at me in the time when I couldn't creatively bring anything. Because that tune was my tune when I heard that. Take it further. What did I see? The Rebel Culture Clash and Spice vibing, doing a thing. And then they played and everyone's like, yo, who's that?
The Beamer.
Yeah.
The thing was ringing off different, got the reload different. And you got Scraps doing this thing. So you're just like, this thing keeps happening. And it's meant to be, the culture will keep going. And your reference point will be either my dad still saying, you know, it's the barge, right? Or it's me saying, there's one more chance. Or it's some next time, you know, that's foolish. The next person, no, it's Scraps. So it's just wild how it keeps. So I feel like just let it breathe, you know, let it breathe.
And I think that's a good point to what you say in terms of let it breathe and let it out. Because even when you said of your new music, in terms of once you do it, let it breathe, it doesn't belong to you anymore. It's theirs. So
Agreed.
I might have wrote it meaning this, you saw it something different. I just used the example of Labyrinth with his song, and everyone thinks it's about someone leaving his life. I'm jealous of the rain, jealous. It's about his dad leaving. I can't sing.
I heard a little something,
No.
though.
It wasn't nothing. I promise you. It's bad.
We've done it. You do know we've done like a duet though before, so I do know your vocals. So we've actually all sung together. So I do know. Okay.
But yeah, once you bring out music as the artist or as the creator, once it's released, it's no longer yours. It belongs to the world. And I think that's what it is about the music you've made in the past, the music you're making now. I meant this by it, but if Tolani in Dagenham heard it and thought something else, that's now hers. Right. So I think that's what's so amazing about music and about what you guys do, because even with Audrey saying it, like, you wrote this song, which then at 14, she went to the shops and did this, and then now it's hers sort of thing. So
it's mine.
Yeah.
It's all
like,
yours.
The memories attached to that song is hers, and what memories were you being in your house writing it and be like, that's what that means to you sort of thing.
Totally.
So in a way, it's to kind of say like, thank you for the music and what you've created, and allow it. And even in the last point you made, allowing people to be like, it's yours. Do as you want with it, enjoy it, don't enjoy it, sing it, rap it, do whatever you want, it's yours. And on that note, this episode is yours. Do what you want with it, enjoy it, like it. And thank you so much for being here with us.
I love you guys. You too? No, you're wholesome. Wholesome.
Thank you so much.
Love you.
Sometimes we do episodes and you feel it.
Yeah, I felt this
like
one.
you feel it. It's like,
this is
a good one.
This is
You
gonna hit.
always feel it.
I felt it.
We felt it. It was amazing. Thank you. Dave, when are things out? Because Jack is like, Craig, you are here for a reason.
It's not just a chin wag.
No, but
give us dates.
Do you know the wild thing? We've done some stuff here where I was supposed to go on there, tell you about I've got shows coming up and da, and I went left.
I promise you it works better.
Always.
Yeah, because I promise you, anytime I've heard something, they're not like, and then like I said in my new song, and then my new song, it's like, oh, shut up. We know. You know
your tunes out. Do you know what? It's more about like, we've got the album Commitment, which is the 8th of August.
Exciting.
Which is actually a week before my album Born to Do It came out 25 years ago. So it's got like crazy throwback vibes. That
10 years
gift that
old,
keeps giving that album.
Wow.
You know what I mean? How it's touched people's lives.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, then we got loads of shows like up and down that country. Like we just looked festivals. I got my Ibiza Rocks pool party. If you're feeling like you want to get a little,
I've never been to Ibiza
We
before.
were talking about that before. Can you imagine? She's never been.
I know.
So why don't we
I
plan
need
this?
to.
We're doing all of them. We're doing every Wednesday in May, and we're doing every Wednesday in September.
Do you know what? September? That might be a shout, for your birthday.
Literally, and I genuinely.
So I've never been.
I'm patting you
before I'm 40.
Patting you for that pool party, and you'll be able to.
Like, this is on record. This is going to go out.
No,
we're actually going to go. And that gives me enough time to get beach ready.
Yeah. You're beach ready.
You're beach ready. Come on,
yeah.
Like this one.
But I wanted to go back. He said, I will pattern you. If you're not sure what I will pattern you means.
Sort it out, mate.
I will sort out everything for your time there. Okay.
Noted.
That's your birthday.
And you'll enjoy. And the thing with the pool party is great because it's a daytime thing. So before it can get messy, people were thinking, okay, I want to go home, shower up, maybe go to a dinner after. When the sun sets, that's when the Ibiza can tell to what you want it to be.
Yeah.
It could be on a yoga retreat if you want, or it could be a mad thing. Right. But pool party is cool.
Yeah.
It's still nice. It's
I love a pool party.
Drinks,
that's where Mercury Fest used to be.
Oh yeah.
When he did Ibiza. When Storms used to do Ibiza, it wasn't.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. So I'll got them shows. Yeah, and the album just vibing. And we got some tunes. We got this the latest tune is called Wake Up, which is a garage tune, which is just like back in my garage bag and just vibing.
Is that out now?
It's out now, but the video. I don't keep going about the video, but I've been working with a guy called Maro, right? He recently did Tiwa's new single. He did SOS for me, did Commitment video. You know when you meet someone that just understands the assignment, like just understands the detail, the creative brief, and then you get a rapport going where it's just like it's just fun, and you just Maro. Check for him on. I'll show you his Instagram. But it's just a good people. Like if you're ever gonna do the video with someone, like you just felt like I want to pop up and do something.
We might do.
He just never. I don't know. Just found like all these different things I'm doing are just fun now.
What we would like to do, which you can actually make happen.
Yeah, run that.
Is do you know how you get songs and there's a little voice note to be like, Craig, you said you was gonna call me. It's 5:45. You're meant to be here at 5 o'clock. What the hell, man? And then you went bzzz, and that's your phone being like, wake up. So all I ask is that we could just do like a little voice note-y type thing in a song. That's our dream.
Oh yeah, big time.
Okay.
Do you know what? Like the En Vogue thing that you were saying, like the top end. You don't want to go, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
You don't. You're
No.
not that
I
far.
want to be talking.
But we want this. we want the sound to be echoey, you know, like old school voice notes,
Yeah.
like old school
Okay.
voicemails.
Are you taking the piss? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Where it's a little bit in and out. It's not perfect.
Say
Like how
less.
voice notes are now.
Say
Do you
less.
know what I mean?
Do you know what? I'm one of the people that genuinely on the real,
Yeah.
like will pattern that.
No,
Okay,
great.
sweet.
Okay.
Wait,
Even
and
if
I
it's
know
for a
you-
fake song, it doesn't matter.
No. Forget
No,
fake
it's
song.
real.
No one wants fake. I was just saying, I could feel
It has
your
to be
spirit.
real.
Yeah, was like, you know what? No, don't
it
listen
needs
to
to
what
be
you're
real.
saying.
Yeah,
It ain't
yeah,
no
real
fake
song.
song, right?
Yeah, it needs to
I
be
need the
real.
real thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not doing it.
Yeah. It has to be real.
Okay.
I've got some experience.
I've heard.
I was on FK Twigs' album talking.
See?
Really?
So enough people don't know that. So I just like to.
Which song was it? And do you remember what song?
So it's interludes in the middle of an album.
Do you know which song? Do you know it was sandwiched between? Just so
But
we can get
it was
definitive.
mixed by Mike Dean.
Oh, that's.
Well, there you go.
And then you know what I mean.
That's everything you need. Not that
And you
Those
know
are
the
my
album
credentials.
actually popped off because of that little piece.
Of course it did.
Because it was a tone. You set the tone.
Of
for it.
course.
And then the single would come off the back. of it.
Exactly. So yeah.
So important, man.
But yeah, those are all our talents.
Mhm.
I hope you guys have some as well. Thank you guys so much. So
Blessed.
Commitment out August.
August 8th. And yeah.
Wake Up out.
I can't
now.
wait to see that video.
Wake Up's out now. You can,
Video
you can,
out soon.
You can pre-sale the pre-sale for Commitment's out, but you can get it when it comes out if it's calm for you.
Pre-sell it. You know the
Yeah,
deal with
exactly.
pre-sale.
Let's run it up. Let's run it up, man.
Pre-sale, but you know what I mean? I don't want
Yeah.
to be that guy. It's like if you just want to wait till it comes out the week out, just get it when it comes out. And yeah, vibes. Come
And
come
run up all the old tunes as well.
Exactly.
Do what you
Go
need to
and
do. Run
listen
up
to that.
everything.
Born to do it. If
And
you
have
have
a
not,
good
I don't
time.
know where you've been.
And come
but
to Ibiza. You don't know my birthday, so we'll be
there.
weekend.
We will be there.
Yeah, that weekend's gonna be
It's gonna be amazing.
Can't wait.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you, no,
Okay.
thank
You're
you
a-
too.
you're
You
a
two are
legend.
amazing. I
You're
appreciate
amazing.
it. So much love.
Guys, thank you guys so much for listening. I've been your girl, Tolly T.
Just call me Audrey.
And
David in the building.
Cheers.